One of the first things I think young people, especially nowadays, should learn is how to see for yourself and listen for yourself and think for yourself. Then you can come to an intelligent decision for yourself. If you form the habit of going by what you hear others say about someone or going by what others think about someone instead of searching that thing out for yourself and seeing for yourself, you'll be walking west when you think you're walking east. And you will be walking east when you think you're going west. This generation, especially of our people, has a burden more so than any other time in history. The most important thing that we can learn to do today is think for ourselves. Malcolm X speaks to the young people, and that is December 31st, 1964.
The revolution will be live.
Hey, what's going on there, Mr. and Mrs. Psychologics, if that's what we want to call it. I know I'm late. Truthfully, I had 3 podcasts set up, but I'm going to combine probably 3 ideas into this one podcast and try to keep it within a bearable time limit. I don't want to run off the mouth as I generally do. I hate to say, I told you so. I really do hate to say, I told you so, but I did. And if you didn't, or if this is your first time listening to a podcast of mine, go back to a podcast, the very last podcast I did, and I said, whenever we win 1, we lose 2. Now, I cannot confirm nor deny the fact that Joshua Brown was killed as stated by the news in a drug deal gone bad. It seems so coincidental that after Amber was found guilty, that Friday he dies on a drug deal that goes bad. If you know anything about me, I love making words up, and I love to make these words up that kind of make sense. But this word I'm not making up, fiction. I did make this one up. It's called encyclopedia, spelled Ensykapedia. With that, I have a definition of fiction. Fiction is nothing more than reality distorted and twisted to meet the narrative. And generally, we know what fiction is when it comes to the movies and things of nature, but it's generally based on some type of reality. So what I'm saying to you is maybe that's fake news. Maybe it's not. Once again, I can't confirm nor deny. But what I do know is it's a black man dead. Let me say this. A Fort Worth officer, he was charged with murder for shooting a woman in her home. Aaron Dean, who killed Atatiana Jefferson, I stumbled on that word, Atatiana Jefferson, while she was in her home with her nephew playing Call of Duty of all games. She was killed in her home. As I stated before, he was charged with murder. Nothing has gone down yet. So this is like to be determined of what's going to happen, of the course of action the courts will take against this young man. All I do know is he's not being receptive and he is not being cooperative. Now, I also said in one of my previous podcasts, especially how the police tend to take care of their own and they cover evidence, hide evidence, lose evidence. Well, in this case, which was somewhat argued in the last case, that Texas has a castle doctrine which gives the person or the persons living in that home the latitude, broad latitude, to use fatal force to defend themselves in their home. In this case, she was defending an 8-year-old boy. So she had a gun that she was licensed to carry. Now, it's kind of bad that the police department, and I did see it, how they focus on she had a gun, giving the police officer probable cause of shooting her, trying to give him a viable reason to shoot her. Now, Lee Merritt, a civil rights attorney representing the family, said Jefferson had a license to carry the gun. He cried out foul for the department's decision of releasing the image of the weapon, accusing police of trying to impute some bad act of blaming on the victim, trying to make it seem like it was her fault. Yeah, if I'm in my house and someone is lurking around a window, of course, I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure I take care of my family. I would do the same thing. And what they also stated was the little boy was going to go to the door. Now, what if the little boy or go to the window? What if the little boy did go to the window? What if he did go to the window and the cop shot the kid? Where would we be at now? Where would we be at right now? Krause, the police chief, acknowledged Tuesday that Jefferson's killing has shattered the trust between law enforcement and the community. No. That has been shattered a long time ago, my friend. A long time ago. And it's just the simple fact that coincidentally, this has happened within the last couple months, not one, not two, and in the same state and generally in the same region, Dallas/Fort Worth. I haven't figured out yet why blacks are deemed a threat. I don't know. But in this case, it seems that they're taught to shoot first, ask questions later. Let me give you something to think, because I'm not going to run on, like I said, all day long about what's right and what's wrong. You be the judge of what's right and what's wrong. But answer me this question, if you can, please. Because to me, it's kind of funny that there's so much compassion in the United States for the Syrian refugees. Showing pictures of kids, I saw this on Facebook, kids laying next to their parents in a grave. And then I'm seeing a whole lot of support, to include the House passing a bill aimed at supporting the Hong Kong protests. I remember back in the 60s when blacks were protesting, they killed us, they beat us, sprayed us down with water, put attack dogs on us. In Mississippi, they killed and buried us. Who came to our rescue? No one. Who said this is tragic? This right here needs to be addressed. The United States, what are you doing? Did anyone say that? No. The United States of America has had the license to kill and destroy blacks and black families for over 400 years. And it still continues. The 10-year sentence, that's an insult. And I'm sorry if you people feel that getting upset, the brother of the deceased wanted to hug and show his forgiveness to the officer that killed his brother. No, I can't sign off on that. I definitely can't sign off on that. I want to know when these other countries, Great Britain, France, heck, when is Russia or China going to call foul or do an intervention and ask this question? Why are you killing so many black men? Why are there so many black men in jail? More black men in jail than there are on the streets to take care of their families. And I'm not going to say some of it's not self-imposed, but it's systemic. There's a lot of people in 2019 with a slave mentality. And I am not going to touch on it on this podcast, but my next podcast, I would explain that. You can call me a Tom. You can say what you want to say, but the one thing you can't say is, I don't understand, because I do. I've seen it and I am seeing it. But let's get back to who is coming to the aid of black Americans. We're saying, oh, it's a travesty. This is tragic. What's happened in Syria? Oh, the Chinese government. Let's go ahead and provide sanctions. Correct me if I'm wrong. During the Korean War, we were wearing that ASS out until Chinese regulars intervened. During the Vietnam War, we was wearing that $$ out until the Republic of China, the People's Republic of China intervened again, along with Russia. Am I the only one that knows the only reason why Kim Jong-un is so bad, so tough, is because he has the backing of who? China. The United States is not going to jump on North Korea because of who? China. But why are we concerned what's going on in China? When we should be concerned what's going on in the United States, the elimination of the black man, how Trump can't stand the brown. You tell me. I don't understand that portion of it. Just like I don't understand how rich Americans, celebrities, they're adopting kids. Oh, I adopted an African kid. Or I adopted a kid from Thailand. Okay, maybe the worst case scenario for these kids, they're going to have a bad case of malnutrition. When I take care of home, adopt kids at home. Oh, I know why you won't adopt no kids from home, because you're afraid that they came from broken homes. You're afraid that maybe their mother was a crackhead, or maybe, I don't know. Maybe that the kid might not be salvageable to save and doesn't need the mentoring or the love of an American mom or dad. So let's go grab us a foreign kid and give him something that we can't give our own kids. That means white, black, brown. I'm not discriminating. American born. When is America going to look into America? And I will say this, and I'm going to end it. Do you know why it's so easy to kill blacks? Because no other country will stand up for us. Not even Africa. Blacks have been getting killed, dying in the United States for over 400 years. And ain't no one done diddly about it. Think about it, America. Who cares what's going on in Syria? Who cares what's going on in China? I want to say who cares about what's going on in the United States right now. A 28-year-old college graduate, educated black woman killed in her own home. Young transplanted black man killed in his own home. You tell me, what the freak is the problem? Be looking out for my next podcast, because I'm going to set you black folks straight. Because you know what? The one reason why it is easy to kill black folks, because you guys are blind. You're blind, baby, to the fact. Public Enemy, Flavor Flav. This is Brian Matthews, Psychologics. And
The revolution will be live.